Hello, and welcome to an all new episode of Talking About Walkers, the Walking Dead podcast. I am Kente, one of your hosts, all the way live from Chicago, Illinois. Excuse me, I forgot where I'm at right now. I'm all the way live from Chicago, Illinois, but the next time you guys hear from me, I will be back in sunny Los Angeles, California. And I am here with my wonderful co-host. Let me start off with the one and only militant marketer himself, Yardley. How you doing, brother? All of a sudden we got you on mute.
Hey.
There we go.
Yeah, it's been a good day here in Atlanta. Beautiful day. Ready to talk about this last episode because I guess we have, 8 months until the season premiere?
7 months.
Okay.
Sorry to correct you.
Oh, no, that's good. I mean, 7 more months, man. But I'm really interested to hear what everybody has to say because there's been a lot of mixed feelings around the interwebs about this episode.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to get deep into it. Now, also joining us, we have the one, the only, the beautiful, the talented Tori Rush. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm still like, whoa, what happened from last night? But you know what? Okay, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not. But earlier on in the week, like Monday, Tuesday, I told multiple people, and I'm talking about like not a lot, but like 5 or 6 people, okay? They asked me what my prediction was, like who was going to die and all that stuff. I said, you know what they're going to do? I said, they're going to show it. They're going to show Negan with Lucille in first person. And they're going to show them getting hit by the bat in first person. And that person's going to fall. And he's going to look in Negan's shoes. And then you won't know who dies until the beginning of season 7. I said that. I fucking called it. I called it.
So it's your fault.
I'm a psychic.
I also think that when we saw the previews for the episode, they showed that first person shot of Negan, with the bat pointed at the camera. So I definitely agree with you, Tori. I mean, it's kind of, and we'll talk about it, but I think they kind of foreshadowed that.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. The name of this episode was called The Last Day on Earth, and it is episode 16 of season 6. I can't believe we're already 6 seasons into this. And so let's get into this episode. Now, we're going to obviously we're going to spend a lot of time on the final scene, but I want to get the rest of the stuff out the way real quick. So let's start off with Carol and Morgan, because I think, I'm just be honest, I don't think we care that much about that whole thing. Now, where we left off at, Morgan was in pursuit of Carol. And we had Morgan finding her, and she's in the kind of a suicidal mentality. I don't know how many characters had that moment where they said, "Just let me go" and all of that stuff, and they fight to keep him because we stay together and all that BS. And so I want to get to. I don't know if they ever said the guy's name, but the guy that's from one of the Saviors, who followed Carol and decided to put a couple of bullets in her ass. They never said his name, did they? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll just say
Savior number 2.
There you go. And that's a far way that he traveled to get some get back.
Yeah.
Like barely on one leg. This guy, looking like a walker, he traveled a long way to get some get back. And honestly, I understand that when you're on the losing side of an ass whooping, I can understand being upset, but didn't they try to kill her? Like, what are you upset about? That she protected herself? Are you really a bitch if you protected yourself when someone was trying to kill you? Like, I never get that, why people, she did what she had to do, which was fantastical. That she took all those people out, but so he puts a couple of bullets in her, and then where she could have met a worse fate if a walker came and got her. But the main part of that scene was the fact that finally Morgan breaks his no killing promise to go ahead and save her life, which I believe that you, Yardley, predicted, and that he was going to have to do so because he gave him the gun, so we know that was going to happen. So I guess the first question is, what do you think, Yardley, that means? Is he going to go back to his killing ways, or is this a one-time thing, or what?
No, I don't necessarily think it's a one-time thing, but something that does need to be said. We know if Carol had like a flak jacket or a body armor, it will be made out of the skin of brothers, because that's 2 times. She'd have
her own nipple lamp.
Yeah, this is 2 times that brothers done went all out or out of their way to to kind of help her or whatever. But as far as Morgan is concerned, I think that he'll be able to break that out when he needs to. I mean, all you can do is try. Like, I understand his philosophy, and there was a quote that was in an article where he was saying that Morgan is doing a lot better now than he was, but he's still trying to find his way all the way to that point. I can't remember the guy's name who we saw gave him his Zen philosophy. Do you guys remember his name? The guy who trained him got killed.
Oh, Cheese Man? No, yeah, I don't remember his real. I just remember Cheese Man. I don't remember his real name.
He hasn't yet, been able to reach the Cheese Man's level. And I think that he's going to have to do some more of that, because we saw how the end of this episode ended, so it's only natural that there's going to be more conflicts to come. So I think he'll be able to whip it out, but I'm really curious about how they did Carol. Back in the day, we discussed how fast her turnaround and his super killer was, and now she's done a fast turnaround to being like, I don't want to kill people. So I kind of think that that's kind of, weird that they would, flip her character back and forth so swiftly, because I don't think either situation was developed enough. There would just seem like there were things that happened overnight, and I thought that was kind of weird. So hopefully Morgan will be able to do it, but they still got to come a little bit better with what they're going to do with Carol, because I'm confused.
Yeah, it is kind of confusing, but so I think we're all in agreement that she's going to survive her wounds, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I get that they do this for drama, but it is kind of getting annoying, these people, when they decide to run off. I mean, we've seen this happen over time and time again.
Yeah.
I guess they go away to find themselves, and they end up back with the group.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it's just something that, it's not just this show. A lot of shows tend to do this thing. So, all right.
It's like they're trying to self-explore and find themselves and come to terms with everything, and then they come back and they're a changed person. They're reborn.
Now, one more thing is, do you guys have any knowledge to who those two were? That the one with the missing horse and with the armor on. Are they somebody from the comic book at all?
Well, I can't. I can't tell. I don't really know. I'll have to hand out to Tori if he's somebody that might be recognizable.
That wasn't talked about at all during the week. Like, no one said anything about it. I didn't read anything on the interwebs about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they just mentioned, a lot of people kept forgetting what animal he was asking for, stupid shit, but they didn't say who he was.
I think that he's probably part of that other community. What was it, the Hilltop or something? From the comic books.
Or he could be a whisperer.
Yeah. But they still have to meet that, getting good with, the wider world, so to speak. So he's got to be somebody from another one of those groups. I'm pretty sure that character is going to come back into play somehow.
Shadow Fox.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, so we're done with Carol pretty much. So let's get to the nuts and bolts of this episode. And You know what? Only you can answer this question, probably, Tori, because you are a woman, and not only are you a woman, you've been pregnant before,
Oh yes,
and
3 times.
3 times, so you know about being pregnant. One thing about pregnancies, they can be very complicated. And this is when you're in a perfect environment where you're getting prenatal care and all of that stuff.
And the best doctors, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Best doctors and not a zombie apocalypse. But we have Maggie, who, while she's been pregnant, has gone through all kind of trauma. She's been kicked, her
Very
stomach
stressful.
kind of got sliced a little bit. She's been thrown around, tied up, all of these things, right? But she still, seems to be on track to have this baby. So
Right.
now they got to get her to the hilltop. What I'm thinking is, do they give any kind of time of how long she's been pregnant?
Yes. When we talked about this last week too,
Mhm.
but in the episode, whenever they were captured and they were in the room with the other women, they, Carol was like, she's pregnant, and they're all like, well, why isn't she showing? And Carol was like, she's about 2 months along, so she's only 2 months along, 3 months maybe.
Okay, she's 2 months along. So okay, so I was getting that she was about to give birth.
No, she would look pregnant. Like you can't be that skinny and be pregnant.
I don't know.
Even supermodels can't do that.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. That's what I got was that she was. So maybe I was on crack, but so I thought she was about to blow.
No. I mean, she might be at most 4 months because a lot of women don't even start showing until about 4 or 5 months. But if you look at her, she really still doesn't look pregnant yet. Like
Right.
she might start, and they might start fitting her in looser clothes or something, but she really doesn't really look pregnant yet. So,
You know what? I'm on crack. I was watching Downton Abbey and Anna. I'm getting her mixed up with Anna. I just saw Downton Abbey and she just gave birth on that show. So I'm getting my shows mixed up. You know what I'm talking about, Yardley.
Yeah.
I just saw it like the other day.
Yeah. Bates's wife.
Bates' wife. Yeah. Okay, she was the one that gave birth. Okay. My bad. All right, so
how can you get those two?
because I just
shows
seen it
confused?
because they're both pregnant on the show, and
Oh my god.
they're both pregnant on the show, and I just seen that the one where her water broke, and she gave birth. I think it was the finale, right? The series finale. So
The
I don't
Walking
watch that
Dead
show.
could use a little Downton.
it was a great show, by the way. But anyway, so let me get back on point. So okay,
I just want to throw out there, I might be a little fidgety tonight and moving around. My back hurts, so I'm just trying to find a comfortable position. So I'm sorry if I'm all like, I'm sorry if I'm all like all over the place. I'm trying to find my light. No, I'm just, my back hurts and I'm trying to find a comfortable position. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, well, it's not drugs, you guys. It's her back.
Yeah, I'm not tweaking or anything. I'm just, I hurt.
Okay, so all right, so her she's having a very stressful pregnancy. So so the thing that we could see, do you think maybe perhaps she could be losing the baby?
Absolutely.
That could be what's going on here.
I mean, the screams she had. Now, I will say this. And this is kind of getting personal with me. I don't really get very personal with you guys, but I've actually had 4 pregnancies, and I had a miscarriage when I was about 4.5 months, which is very late for miscarriages. Usually, if a woman's going to miscarry, they're going to miscarry in the 1st and 2nd month. That's when it's going to happen. If it goes later than that, it gets a lot more complicated and the woman might die, but it can happen. But 4, 5, 6 months, the probability of the fetus surviving outside the woman is almost impossible. They haven't formed everything yet, or it's not mature enough yet for them to survive outside the womb, so they will miscarry and the baby will die, okay? After that, they can go into labor and the baby could survive. And with a scream like that and her grabbing her stomach the way it did, I know how that feels. And it's a gut-wrenching scream, and it just didn't seem like what else would cause that? Like, unless she was shot or something happened to her, which obviously didn't happen. Like, why would she scream like that, you know?
Right. So, that could be some. I mean, because she's gone through enough to make you miscarriage. Way more. I mean, one of those events could have had her be a miscarriage. So, I'm wondering if that's going to be the outcome of all of this. Because I've actually thought about this. Because remember the last pregnancy, and how that went, and I believe she was there for that, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Well, she was right outside the door,
mm-hmm.
and she was, and then she had to come in to do the C-section.
Mm-hmm. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to turn out. Now let's pivot to the trip. So, what do you guys think about all of that? Blocking the roads and making them go all around. I guess it was for dramatic purposes, but it just seemed kind of pointless to do. Why do all that? I mean, do you guys see anything? I mean, I know it was done for our benefit, the audience. Maybe they had no other thing that they wanted to do there, but it just seemed like, why did they do all of that when they could have just surrounded them and taken them in? They had 4 of their people. They would have, they would have given up, basically. So what was the whole purpose of doing all that? Was it some kind of scare tactic? I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, maybe it could have been some type of a little psychological thing going on, but.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to quote a little Seinfeld thing. Well, maybe they had a system. Yeah. Like, that's how they did it with everybody. Like, obviously Negan and his people, there's a lot of them. Okay? Because we've already murdered almost 40 of them, right? We counted that last week. So there's a lot of these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big community. Obviously, they have done this before. Maybe that's just how they do things. Maybe it's been so successful that that's just what they do. Or maybe it was just for dramatic effect. Maybe they felt like this is what we have to do for this group in order to catch them all. Who knows?
Nah, I mean, I think they dropped the ball. It went on too long. And he tweeting even made a good point. They should have just captured them when it first started. As far as I'm concerned, there probably should have been an altercation at that first. And your boy, is his name Greg Ogg, the one who was Trevor on Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is him.
That's him.
I knew that guy. That is the Trevor from Grand Theft.
Yeah. I believe his name is Greg Ogg. I'm going to find his name because I was actually looking at some of his tweets.
I knew that dude.
Yeah, I mean, like there's nothing. That's just a carbon copy of Trevor. That's what kind of got me interested in the episode because I wanted to see how they were going to use his character. And I have a feeling that he's going to get a lot of play in the next season. But
I hope so.
But
welcome to the show. Oh, he tweeting.
Thanks. How's everybody doing?
Hey, we're doing all right. Man.
Do you want us to call you He tweeting, or do you have something other?
You have a real name?
No, He tweet is not my real name. No, my real name is my real name is Raphael.
Raphael, okay.
Yeah.
Like the Ninja Turtle. That's awesome.
Like the Ninja Turtle.
He was the asshole, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm sitting there looking at that guy, and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. And it's Grand Theft Auto. I played him. Yeah, that's funny.
But it's totally him. But I think that just went on too long. You got to think, it was like 45 minutes of them just driving up Highway 166, getting caught, you know what I'm saying, behind a tree every now and then. I just don't understand how these guys haven't learned to kind of go off the beaten path. And it was also a fail at how many of the main people were with them. It doesn't take all of your heavy hitters to take somebody to try to get some medical help.
Right, yeah, that seemed kind of kind of a little silly there. But and welcome Kiana in our chat room. So let's just get to the end. All right. So the introduction of Negan, and how long really since the governor died? Pretty much, we pivoted on to Negan, and our good friend Cindy has been beating the Negan drum, ever since the governor died.
Right, she definitely has.
I think she wanted to talk about. I think she wanted to. I think she wanted Negan on like the 4th season. Remember she was like, maybe it's Negan. Like she used to always say that, and so did the community. But we finally get Negan, and so what do you guys think about the introduction? Anybody can hop in and answer that.
Go ahead, Tori. What do you think?
Okay. I think it was great. There wasn't enough fucks. Let's be real. But I think this actor gets his character and the little grin he always has, and like the humor that Negan has, like I don't know, Negan's kind of like he's a real dick, but like he's always kind of happy. You know what I mean? Like he's never really like pissed off. He's kind of like, even when he's pissed off, he's always making jokes and shit. Like I thought that was really cool, and I think the introduction was cool, and I liked how he did eeny, meeny, miny. That was cool because he always does that in the comics. I think it's going to be a good fit.
Okay. What about you? Oh, he tweeting. I'm sorry, Raphael.
Nah, no worries. I thought his intro was pretty good. Just like you said, Tori, he's kind of, I guess, that chameleon. He's serious, but the way he talks and he cracks the jokes and he smiles, it kind of throws people off. But when he carries that bat, then obviously he's down for business. So he has that, he has that charming personality that he probably could get over on a couple of people before they really figured out that he was a serious killer.
It's a trip about this world that these characters exist in. A lot of these people, I think Negan, as well as the governor to a certain degree, enjoy that where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, they probably didn't like it before the zombie apocalypse. These people, like Negan, is enjoying the apocalypse. This is the way he would want it. And I believe there is a segment of humanity that would actually enjoy this. That they don't like things the way they are. That they wouldn't mind zombies are roaming around and there's chaos and there's no order. And I would have to say that Negan seems to be that dude. What do you think, Yarly?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely go along with that, Kente. He does seem to thrive on narcissistic behavior. But he's I really do like the job that they're doing with the character. I mean, so far we've only seen the guy for 10 minutes. So right now, for this particular scene, which ended miserably, I thought that he did a good job. I believe I'll be able to buy him going forward. The one thing that I will say that I'm concerned about is, I believe on Talking Dead, didn't Robert Kirkman say something about this character is going to be able to serve the story for seasons to come, which means he's going to be sticking around for a while. And I don't like that. I don't want so-called bad guys to be around a long time. But then again, they let that route in the comics. Yeah,
because any kind of confrontation between him and the group, what the outcome is going to be, because he needs to be around for a while. So I they're going to have to really write their asses off to make it work, and I'm just hoping that they did a good job with the governor, right? Well, then again, that was Glenn Mazzara, but so let's see if Scott Gimple can now, because we're at another mile marker in the story. Let's see if he can actually make it work, because what's going to happen is he's going to beat somebody to death, and we're going to get to our predictions and whatnot, but he's going to beat someone to death. They're going to go home, lick their wounds, and then Rick is going to say something like, "I'm going to kill him," or something like that. He's going to look into the camera and say that he's going to kill them.
Me,
or
I fuck
whatever.
the camera. Every time he says something serious, he I fucks the camera. He does the head tilt, and then somebody's gonna end up dead.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Every single time he like kills somebody, like a live person, or like something serious happens, like he says, "This is not a democracy anymore." Like every time, like he says something like that, he like does a head tilt, and his eyes get all like semi squinty, and he gets all serious, and he looks right at right straight. And that's what my group calls "I fucking the camera." They want to.
You know what? You do that too. I noticed.
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, you I fuck. So so now the big controversy in this episode, and I really want to go around on this one, is the fact that we didn't get to see who got the beat down. Now I'm gonna say this: I would have been okay with them doing this if they had beat someone to death first, and then the second person is a surprise. You know, I think maybe if he started out just beating someone to death, and then said, "I'm gonna pick another one," because I mean, shit, they killed off 40 of his men. I mean, one person doesn't seem like a fair. You know, I mean, I think he should probably kill a couple of cats from their squad. I know he can't deplete them too much because he needs them to work, but I think maybe that other thing that closing off the roots was to show them that he has so much force also too, so they'll understand that going against them is pointless. But so does anybody, let's first start off, agree with them not showing who got killed?
Say the question again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I said, does anybody agree that what their choice was not to show the person who got killed?
I mean, since I made the prediction, I kind of liked it, but the feedback I got from the people who told me was a total cop-out. It was just for ratings, so people tune into next season, that it was predictable, that, it was kind of like, oh, that's kind of weak, man. We need somebody. They didn't really like it. So, but everybody's reaction today was they loved it. From my group and like on the interwebs, like it was great. So I liked it.
I've had the opposite experience. I didn't like it. I thought it was a cop out, and most of the articles and the fanfare that I've seen, people had hated that they did that, because one of the better ways to go into a season finale is to see one of the major characters get killed. And maybe they're panning off and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. What's going to happen next? Instead of you wondering. And I think the reason why is they don't know. Because I read articles that the actors don't even know who it was.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That actually got killed. But I think it was ridiculous. And a lot of people are flaming on it. There are different people who write for The Walking Dead, like for Vanity Fair and things like that. I've seen like 3 reporters, people who give their opinion on the show. They just rage quit the show over that shit. So they were just like, I'm done. I don't even care what's going to happen. And I think they're going to get a lot of mixed feedback, but I've been seeing mostly negative about it. And I just thought it was whack. I'm not as excited as I think they want me to be going into the season.
Random comment real quick. I'm sorry. Hold on. Real quick. I'm not even a gamer, but I absolutely adore the fucking phrase "rage leaving." I love it. It's great. Yeah. All right, rage quitting, right? Rage quitting.
What about you, Raphael?
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. Talking to my friends, we all hated it. We kind of felt that there should have been a bigger payoff. I mean, in the beginning, the first half of this season, you had Glenn's fake death. And then, he came back after 4 weeks. And then even last week, they really didn't address, Daryl getting shot, which obviously you could tell at the end he was still alive. So at that point, you had 2 instances where you had these so-called cliffhangers where they got resolved, but they didn't get resolved. So we should have had a bigger payout. And we should have seen someone getting killed in this episode, so that way we could go in the next season saying, okay, well, what's going to happen next, versus us waiting another 6 or 7 months to figure out what's going to happen. And you got to think that between now and then, once they start filming, we're going to figure out who's not going to show up in the cast, and then the game's going to be up. They've been better off just killing somebody now and then going into the brand new season fresh versus us getting spoiled like another 3 or 4 months when they actually do the filming.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out before it happens. So, I mean, especially us, because we're all on social media and stuff, and it's really hard not to know, these things because it's gonna be everywhere. And then especially when that actor gets another job, like it'll be pretty obvious, who it is. So I think it's kind of silly. But like I said, if they should have killed at least one character off. And then maybe the second person is a surprise, But okay, let's just get into it. We might as well. Let's see who it is. All right. So what I'm gonna start off by saying is, I'm gonna start off with you, Tori. Who do you think is the victim?
Okay, I'm gonna do a 2-part thing. I'm going to say what I believe, and I'm going to say what I have heard everybody else say. Okay? I think it was either Eugene or Abe. Okay?
Okay.
Everybody else says Glenn.
Okay.
I don't think it's Glenn. I think it was Eugene or Gabe. Or Abe. Gabe. Who the fuck is Gabe? Abe.
All right, Raphael, who do you think it is?
I agree with Tori. I'm going to say Eugene or Abe. I'd probably lean more towards Eugene, but I think it's going to be between one of the two.
Yeah, I think it's the Gabe, actually. No, I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. Yardley, who do you think it is?
Probably Abraham. I don't think that they're going to do the Glenn thing. They always switch up the deaths, and I think they're going to at least be consistent on that front. So I would probably vote for Abe. I think Eugene has to stick around because they've made this big deal about his ability to make bullets, and we already know there's a larger conflict coming. So I think they're going to keep him around to kind of fill out that, that little bit of something that they gave us. Wasn't that with the molten Targaryen head zombie or whatever?
Yeah,
that guy.
But they did a little bit of foreshadowing by Eugene telling Rick about the recipe to the bullets.
Yeah, that's true.
When he's killed off.
But I do, yeah. But I would definitely say Abe. Yeah, so I don't know. I could see both.
Now here's another one though. Give me three people. It's absolutely, positively not.
Oh, well, Carl and Rick are two. And then, Carl, Rick, and I would say, I'll say Maggie.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to beat a pregnant woman to death. Yeah. What about you, Tori?
Yeah, Carl, Rick, and Maggie.
Carl, Rick, and Maggie. What about you, Raphael?
I'm going to go out in left field. I'm going to say Heath, Tara, and then Maggie. I go out in left field.
They're already there.
So they're definitely not dead. But you got to kind of think Heath should be dead since he's going to be the new Jack Bauer next season. So I was kind of surprised that they didn't show them at all, even though they're on this run. But you could definitely say those probably won't be dead.
Are y'all surprised that they haven't shown anything about Heath and Tara?
Yeah, that's so strange.
I mean, doesn't there have to kind of be a reckoning? Or Tara should have found out about Denise before the season was up. I think that's kind of corny, but nobody's going to be thinking about that, I suppose, because of what happened.
Maybe they just never come back.
Well, they're going to come back.
I know. They're just not going to come back. I know.
Yeah, but I don't know because maybe she'll have had what's her name? Will have had her baby by the time they start back filming. What's her name? Tori, the one who plays Tara, the actress's name.
Lana Masterson.
Yeah, so I think that she's going to be having the baby soon, and Sonequa Martin Green pulled it off last season, so I think we'll get a little bit more of them. And I didn't know about the Jack Bauer thing.
Heath is the.
I think somebody. that's interesting.
Yeah, and that was the reason why I kind of figured that they would probably try to have Heath get killed off for that fact. But you're right, they never even showed him or Tara in the last episode, which was kind of odd to say, okay, next season, how are you going to even bring them back?
Well, aren't the 24 series, wasn't the last one just like 10 episodes or something? It was like a little mini.
Yeah, but the last one was a mini.
I think they're going back though to the regular.
Oh, the regular. Oh, okay.
Because this is a whole new thing. So,
congratulations to the cat. To that cat. We'll see how well received it is.
Hopefully, though, they don't Tyrese him though in the 24 spinoff.
That's true. That's true. But if they do bring him back, hey, get those checks. Those checks.
Wasn't Tyrese supposed to start something or something?
I think that was his way of. From what I understand,
he got killed up, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to be on something else."
Oh, yeah. I think it's a show. It's actually a good show. It's called, what is it? The Expanse, Kente? Is that it?
He really is on a show. Okay,
that it's like a sci-fi joint. If it's, I think that's the name of it. But it's a sci-fi.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, it's good. I watched a few episodes of it, and I planned on getting caught up on that. So yeah, man. It gets a lot of pretty decent reviews, actually.
Yeah. So how are we going to see Negan going forward? I mean, because look how long it took for us to see him, because he's so insulated. Are we going to see from the perspective of his group? Is he going to, how is he going to be in this world now that we've seen him? Are we going to see him often? Are we going to see him every once in a while? Is it going to be like the Governor, where we see him, every episode like that? Or is it going to be one of those things where he'll pop up every once in a while, every couple of episodes?
That's a hard question.
No, they're going to have to use the guy. The load is blown, the last 10 minutes of this episode. They're definitely going to have to use him, because if they're talking about he's going to be there for, some seasons, they got to get their money's worth out of that character. I just don't know if I can stomach 3 seasons, like with the same mustache twirling, villain, or more than 3 seasons, because I don't know who reads pretty sure everyone here has looked through the comics. I always had a beef with Negan being around as long as he has. I'm just like, you got to move on from that. And Negan's still around, and they have moved on to something else. And now this guy is like the psychiatrist for Rick at this point in the comic book. So I'm like, please don't. I'll probably rage quit the show after season 8. If he's still around at the end of season 8, I'm done.
Rage quit. Yes.
That is freaking hilarious. Yes. So, all right. So, are you guys happy with the finale besides the ending? Was it everything you wanted it to be? Did it, what could have been different? The extra, did it have to be 90 minutes? Because honestly, I think it could have been an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could have been an hour.
The normal 45. Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah. What about you?
There wasn't a lot though. Do y'all agree? I mean, the first 40 something minutes, I'm like, what the?
Right.
I didn't know what was going on, and then we had a ton of commercials. So after every commercial, I'm like, okay, we're gonna see them try something different, and then they keep going down, different roads.
It was kind of boring.
Roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know. So I guess I don't think that the last 10 minutes made up for the rest of the time. People are fighting, falling asleep from their buzz, trying to get to the meat of the episode.
It kind of was like that a little bit.
It probably should have been the normal 45, because I can't say that I was entertained for that, the whole 60 minutes.
The ending could have changed. The ending could have been better. More questions could have been answered instead of whatever. I don't know. It was good. It was good, but it wasn't the best finale they have had.
What do you think is the best finale then, Tori?
Probably season 3.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Wait, not season 3. Season 2.
Say season 2.
Okay.
That
Let
was
me
him
think
saying
about it. No, I
that
thought
was
because in my
episode-
head I was thinking that's whenever Rick and Carl left the prison, but that's not when the prison fell. That was in the mid-season 4, correct?
I believe so. Yep.
Okay. Well, then I don't know. They all kind of sucked actually, but I would say maybe the best finale to me was season 4 because that's when they all got captured and went into the train car, and you're like Terminus, yay! And then best mid-season finale was obviously for me 4. But I don't know. Season 2 had a really good finale with the farm and everything.
Yeah, and seeing the prison and all of that stuff. I
Yeah,
thought
that was great. I changed my mind. Season 2 is the best.
Yeah.
because
And then,
remember Shane died. What was it, the episode before or
right.
that same
Right.
episode, Kente?
Yep. And then they showed Michonne, and everybody flipped their shit. You know, when they showed her and all of that stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And that was the dictatorship, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Raphael, for hanging out with us. How can people get you in social media?
So social media, you can find me at OHeTweetin. That's OHHETWEETIN.
All right, and we're going to ask Olaf to pop in before we close it out real quick. So,
Later, guys.
all right.
Hey, Olaf.
Hey guys.
Hey. Before I know you've been doing quite a bit, but before we close out, what's your thoughts on the finale and Negan?
It's like Negan I liked. It was like a good scene and finally actually make it there. As far as this finale, it sucked. I didn't like it. I don't like when they cliffhang them like that. I know they're trying to do this artistic or some sort of thing, but I'm just like, that sucks. You go to cliffhangers for 6 months.
Yeah.
To find out who got killed, and everybody's going to be guessing. They already know, but they won't tell anybody. So I wasn't. It's like I think probably like as you were saying about like I'm saying like season 2 or season 3 finales were better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's friends of mine and stuff that I've talked to over the week. I've talked to say that they think this was actually the worst finale they've seen. So it's like there's quite a few out there that didn't like the finale.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if I'm not mistaken, though, was the season 3 finale the one where Glenn wore the riot gear and they were shooting at the governor's men, but nobody got killed?
Yeah.
That was
Daryl was like a
okay.
super ninja.
Season 2, season 2 with the farm. Yeah.
Well, you know what though, Olaf, I'm totally with you. I didn't really like it. It wasn't that satisfying. It was a lot of boringness for most of the episodes.
Yes.
And then for what little bit we got of Negan, they didn't even close the deal by actually killing somebody this season. So it kind of felt hollow on both ends, or I felt like I got beaten the head, so to speak.
Well, the whole thing is like somebody got killed, but you don't know who, and you're not going to know until the next season. Now, the contention of Kirkman and them is like, well, we had to do this to make the story, so it would be right with the story, and I'm like, oh, you just playing with everybody.
I think the writers were like, we don't know who to pick. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, but it was I wasn't real thrilled with the end of it. Normally I watch them. I'll watch the show again a time or two, and this time I was like, I think I erased it off the DVR, so I'm like, well, I ain't watching it again. It was too boring. I swear, I think there was more commercials in this finale than in a regular show. I mean, is that when you go an extra 30 minutes, you think you get more action and less commercials? But I swear, I think it had more commercials. I mean, normally those are like 6. I think they snuck in about 8 every time they went to commercial break.
Tori, please tell me you're doing some back exercise.
Yeah, I'm stretching my neck. I'm sorry. It hurts. So sorry. Yeah, I am being weird. I'm sorry.
What about you, Kente? What are you? Is this one high on your list? Did you like it?
No, it's not high on the list. But you know what the thing is, it could have made up for it because up until the actual death scene or non-death scene, like the whole Negan thing was great because I thought he was nailing it. He was nailing it. I thought Jeffrey Dean Morgan is perfect for the character, and it was like it was just setting everything up really nicely. And then I'm thinking they're gonna pull out whoever. He's gonna go to work on them, and and then everybody's gonna that was the one time where being predictable would have been okay. You know what I mean? Because we hate to be when it's predictable, but this is the one time where they need to be predictable, and it didn't. And I think maybe I'm starting to think that maybe Gimple, the showrunner, I'm starting to think he overthinks things. He overthinks so because he looks like a deer in the headlights when he's being interviewed. He looks like he's in over his head, and and. I just don't know, man. And I'm wondering, like, it's almost like you ever been at a bar
once,
and you see a guy.
I've been at a bar once, only once.
Have you ever been at a bar and you see a guy talking to a woman and she's totally into everything he's saying and everything's going really well, and then he does something and he can't close. In the end he doesn't get the number because he can't close. And that's kind of like Scott Gimple. Is like in this scene, he was there. She was ready to come home with him. And then the end, he just totally messed it up and she went on and she went off with someone else. And that's kind of like what happened with this scene. All he had to do was follow through with it. And everybody would have been talking about it in a positive way. I don't know how you mess this up. I just don't know how you mess it up. I mean, he needs somebody in the room that will tell him, no, bruh, no, don't do that. If I was in that room, Yardley, if you were in that writer's room, would you have allowed that?
No, I wouldn't have. But I mean, obviously, I would really hope that wasn't Robert Kirkman's idea. I really hope that he doesn't have as much control over that. You know what I'm saying? As I think a lot of people think, because lots of times what people don't realize, we were talking about this with George R. R. Martin with the Game of Thrones TV show. When they signed those contracts, the people, the other people have the right. They can't overrule a decision by an executive producer or something like that. Right. They have a lot of say in it, but lots of those contracts are basic contracts. So I really want to believe that that's the case. And Robert Kirkman knew better. The people who looked at the source material knew better because they took a lot of quotes straight from the comic books. A lot of people knew better, and I really wonder whose idea this was, because if it was Robert Kirkman's, man, oh my! I mean,
it's not Kirkman.
It had to be Scott Gimple or somebody else saying, "Man, we're going to do this," or maybe it's some contracts. They're like, "Who are we going to be able to bring back?" And we'll determine it. But I think that's bad writing. You just got to kill off somebody. It's got to be somebody huge. I mean, for me, if it's not Daryl or Glenn, I just think that it's really suck.
If you notice, though, when they had Darabont and Mazzara, they had more balls in killing off people.
Yeah, they did.
Because, Shane got it, Herschel got it,
Yep. It's true.
And they had balls, and looking at Scott Gimple, he don't look like he has a pair. I'm gonna just be honest. So,
you think he's trying to please the fans too much? Maybe.
No, well, not with that.
No.
Obviously not.
Not with that. No.
I don't know. I think he's afraid to kill off characters. Maybe because he likes the actor so much. Because I've heard him say this. You know what? They'll be fine. You're not actually killing the actor.
Right.
They're not really dying. They'll be fine.
It's not like who's plays Carl? I can't think of his name right now.
Chandler Riggs.
Chandler Riggs. It's not like you're going to shoot the kid in the eye for real. Kill him off. They'll get other jobs. Believe me.
Yeah. Now let me ask you all something else. It's like I don't know if you covered some of this, but some of the in the finale there were a couple things that I thought were kind of cool that we hadn't seen before. I liked the roadblock of the Walker roadblock where they had them like chained and handcuffed together across the road. I thought that was kind of a cool little trick.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, that's right. The roadblock that an RV can't drive through. That RV should have drove through it. I thought that was cool too, Olaf, but that took some patience and caring time to get those chains woven through all of those walkers.
Yeah, it's like they had the handcuffs
Effort.
and the other one where they dropped the dude off of the overpass and they had all the wood stacked up, all the logs stacked across the road, and they dropped the dude over the overpass, and that was from where they met him earlier. And then all of a sudden, it just magically catches on fire. It's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Well,
So
I think that
they did have some cool effects.
and that was kind of what you were talking about earlier, Kente, right? I mean, of it being kind of like a psychological thing, what they were doing. I still don't, I don't know. It just went on too long, but those are definitely some good scenes, Olaf.
Yeah. So
You
that
know,
was good.
You know what I want to do too. What we're going to do is we're going to play the final scene. That's going to be the last thing we do, so that we can once again see the madness. But let me start off with you, Olaf. How can people get you? You're muted, Olaf.
Good. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. You can follow me both on Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't follow too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
When I get back home, I'll have my sound effects.
Oh, I see you're still stuck in the basement. Okay.
Right. But I'll be home Friday. All right, Tori, how can people get you in social media and such?
You can follow me on Twitter at RushTory. And for people who are listening and can't see me, it's RushTory. You can find me on Facebook at Tori Rush. You can join my group, The Infectious Walking Dead. We're still going to be active and doing stuff even in the off season. We'll keep you entertained and satisfy your love for The Walking Dead for all 7 months. Believe you me. We do giveaways and lots of fun stuff, so come join the fun. And on Instagram at _The Infectious Walking Dead.
Now you were eye fucking the camera, Tori.
I didn't mean to.
I caught you. You were doing that. Your head was tilted to the side. See. Yardley.
You can follow me at militant_marker.
Now you can follow me at Kente F. We will be back next week on Sunday. I'll be back in Los Angeles. At is it extra long episode or just an hour? All right.
I think it's just an hour.
All right.
It's like you'll be back home and I'll be in Nashville at Walker Stalker Con.
That's funny. So it's at so we're going to be doing the show at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, and we'll be talking about Fear the Walking Dead season 2 premiere. So and they are doing the Talking Dead for that as well, the whole season as well.
Right.
So that will be then. So catch us next time right here on indieradio.org. Peace.